watched the midweek actually, and you know, they had obviously 11 changes, lots of young talent that were on show, and they were very, very good. I think what Errol Bullett's got here, if he's got that little bit of time, I think this has been the problem at the football club. It's a massive football club, so he needs to look at the fan base, but I think they need to start establishing themselves, getting results. They've got some really good players in the squad now, playing a style that, I think that's where, you know, we look at Cardiff City over seasons where they've sort of always been around that mid-table. I think this is a season where they've got players that maybe they keep on, but the start they've had, they need to get that bit of momentum going now. They really do. I know it's still early doors, but I think getting that first elusive win under the belt is so massive.
As for Middlesbrough, after a strong end to last season when they lost just one of their final 12 games, the expectation was a challenge for the playoffs. So it is a big afternoon here at the Cardiff City Stadium. Cardiff have had their struggles so far at the beginning of this campaign, but today a chance for them to pick up a first championship win of the new season. For Middlesbrough, well, it's been inconsistent from Michael Carrick's team so far. Backed well here this afternoon, a long journey down for this lunchtime kickoff. Win, a draw and a defeat so far in the championship. Can they sign off for the first international break of the campaign with a victory here today on a ground on which they won by 4 goals to 1 back in April? So let's take a look at the team, starting with Errol Bullett, and he picks the same 11 that started the South Wales derby 6 days ago. Chambers comes up against one of his former clubs after he spent a season on loan at Middlesbrough from Arsenal, and that was a season in which Middlesbrough were relegated from the Premier League. Alan Ramsey named in Craig Bellamy's first Wales squad for their upcoming internationals, whilst Wilfried Kanga is still looking for his first Cardiff goal. As for Michael Carrick, he makes 2 alterations from the side that rescued a point against Portsmouth at the Riverside 7 days ago. Brazilian defender Neto Borges comes in to make his Middlesbrough debut at left back, having signed from Clermont this week. It was the late transfer interest which saw Emmanuel Latte last stay at the club but travelled down late yesterday, means he's on the bench. Tommy Conway is in for his first league start since joining from Bristol City. A player, Lee, that I know has caught your eye so far this season.
Yeah, man, he was brilliant midweek when he came on. He's changed the game completely and really dynamic, wants to get forward, he's got a real hunger and desire, and he's got lots and lots of quality. I'm really interested to see how they're going to shape up with maybe him and Ramsey being the more advanced, Siropis being the defensive pivot for them, but he's one that certainly caused Middlesbrough problems this afternoon.
First championship start since signing for the club for Tommy Conway, who scored the late equaliser last week. A good piece of business, this, you feel?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I mean, I think that, you know, you look at Burren, over the years they've had some really good strikers. Tommy Conway's a great addition. I feel that, you know, today not having Latte available for the first team selection, you know, you do feel he's a great option to bring into the team. He's another one that can cause problems.
Webb is our man in charge here this Saturday lunchtime. 4 months ago, these sides faced each other in Cardiff's final home game of last season. Middlesbrough will be hoping to find a similar performance here today, a 4-1 win on that occasion back in April, with all 4 of their goals coming in a 15-minute spell either side of half-time. They, though, were on the wrong end of something similar in the Carabao Cup in midweek, when they conceded 4 times in 12 minutes in their 5-0 defeat at home to Stoke at the Riverside. Can they bounce back here this Saturday lunchtime? We've spoken about Cardiff. Lee, how about Middlesbrough? What have you made of what you've seen from them so far? It seems as if they're struggling for consistency.
Yeah, I think they've been like that, haven't they? I mean, it's the last season results, and at times they've had really good spells of winning and getting points on the board, and then they've had really bad spells. I know this is the championship, but I think we've, again, the size of the club, the following of the football club, and the players that they've had in, you know, you do feel that under Michael Carrick, I've been really impressed with what he's brought to the club for sure, but I just feel that this is a big season where they have to go and achieve something. Again, minimum playoffs, if not promotion.
I do feel as if they've been building for a while, Middlesbrough. There's been some sensible recruitment. There's been a philosophy and a strategy that they've got. I believe coming into the campaign this was the season when it had to bear some fruit. I think they'll be very happy indeed for Emmanuel Lattelat to be staying at the club. Middlesbrough said that they wouldn't allow him to go regardless of the price, but there were discussions between the striker and Michael Carrick. The club say they were amicable. Lattelat has travelled down here today and is on the bench, and I think it would have been a huge blow for Middlesbrough to lose him.
Yeah, I do. I was impressed when he first came into the football club. He gives them something different going forward. He likes to play on the shoulder. He's really skillful. He's proved that he can hit the back of the net, and I think keeping hold of him just shows that they have that strength and depth, particularly in that forward area, that I feel that could be so key this season for Borough going the extra yard and maybe getting a promotion spot.
He ended last season in blistering form. 6 straight games he scored, and he brought that into the new campaign as well, scoring on the opening day. Some competition for those forward areas for Middlesbrough, and usually find the teams that are successful in the Championship are the sides who score goals. But it's Cardiff who are coming forwards here, and some awkward defending there. Middlesbrough, and Clark just manages to put it behind, but then settled early on.
Really scrappy, wasn't it? I mean, initial pass finds its way to this pass here is not great. It's a real awkward one, and then I think it's just a matter of defenders and communication, but obviously the pressure from Aaron Ramsey that maybe caused that situation. That's one in the corner.
One of which taken relatively quickly. Middlesbrough managed to clear it away. Siopis now will look to switch the play. Not beaten to it by Mate, and Isaiah Jones just manages to turn it away, and it'll be a Cardiff throw deep in Middlesbrough territory. Beaten in midweek by Premier League Southampton here. And it was some game late.
It was some game. I mean, coming into the game, you do all your prep, and then when you have 11 changes from both sides, it's a difficult one from a commentator's point of view, but it was a brilliant watch. It really was. Some fabulous goals.
There's Mate just having a swing at that, but Middlesbrough with bodies in the way. Here's Aaron Ramsey, the Cardiff City captain. Siopis feeds it out to this near side to Mate, who's been involved plenty in these opening minutes. Cardiff looking to assert themselves early on in this game. Matchday squad that Cardiff had in midweek featured 16 players that either come through the club's academy or were current players. They're certainly doing something right.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm not just saying that for the sake of it, but there were some really, really good performances. I think obviously the Colwell goal was absolutely outstanding, but some of the youngsters that played, Conte was very good, Pacquiao was very good as well, and Weindorf playing through the middle was real sharp and caused a lot of problems. It was a real joy to watch, and credit to Bullet, who's obviously looking at down the pecking order for some of these youngsters to start really pushing some of these first teamers for that first team spot.
Middlesbrough holding their line here just in front of the D. Into the Middlesbrough box, and Clark gets his head to it. Aidan Morris, summer arrival, just pushes the ball on, and they have themselves a throw. So Borges making his debut today. Plenty of excitement about him, joining the club from Clermont. Middlesbrough doing a fair bit of business late in the transfer window. Ben Doak as well has joined the club. He's not involved today. There were 8 clubs trying to get him from Liverpool after they brought in Federico Chiesa, and it made Liverpool think that they could send Ben Doak out to get him some first-team experience and play regular football. And I think Middlesbrough fans will be excited about having him.
Oh, 100%. He's got so much ability, and I think playing under and knowing the philosophy that Michael Carrick goes about his business, I think he'd be a great addition. I really do. He's got that exciting factor playing out wide. As I said, I do like this Middlesbrough squad.
The challenge that came in Chris Willock. A yellow card then shown to Manolis Siopis, kicking the ball away. With a needless yellow card inside the opening 5 minutes.
Yeah, particularly in the role he plays as well, because he's the defensive pivot that obviously breaks things down and allows Cardiff to get on that front foot. So he has to be careful in these early stages, and there's a long way to go in the game, isn't there?
Hackney just riding a few challenges in midfield. Another who was linked with a potential move away. Another talented young player that Middlesbrough have. Every minute in the Championship so far this season. He did score an own goal in Cardiff's 5-0 defeat at Turf Moor a couple of weekends ago. A player who has had plenty of success at this level, promoted to the Premier League with Nottingham Forest 3 years ago, and with Luton 2 seasons ago. There's quite a lot of surprise that Luton didn't keep him at the club.
Trying to figure out how Borough's setting up today, because Bergdorf, he played out wide, but it looks like he's playing through the middle, and Tommy Conway and Finn Azaza, it's almost like they're playing a double 10 in there, just playing off Bergdorf. You see that already with Isaiah Jones out on that right hand side with an immediate outlet, isn't he, with his pace.
Possession picked up by Hayden Hackney, and there's plenty of grass for him to run into here. And the challenge came in on Bergdorf. He was just bumped out of the way, it seemed, off the ball. It seems as if Jesper Darland is in some discomfort. One of those coming togethers. Was it intentional or not? We'll probably get a better look at it in a moment or two, but it looks as if Darland may have done himself some damage here.
It looks a bit of a clumsy challenge, isn't it? I think Bergdorf wants to get on his way, and this pass here just catches. You can see Jesper Darland gets off the worst here. He's just trying to protect that little bit of space the ball's being played in. He gets caught by Bergdorf.
Bergdorf, who's been really adaptable for Middlesbrough so far in his time at the club. As Lee mentioned, he's been playing out wide, but he's in a central role today. So this is not too bad for Jesper Darland, who made his debut in the game against Swansea. Fierce rivalry a week ago.
It doesn't look good, does it, at all? Obviously having the options of Gutas, who played it midweek. Obviously he can come and fill that role if that's the case. Jesper Darland has to go off, but disappointing the way it happened, wouldn't it? Because he's literally focusing on that space and need to stop that ball going into a dangerous area, and clumsy challenge.
He's back up on his feet. Have a look at it here. I'm sure Cardiff will be worried about the amount of space that Hackney had there as well.
There's a double clip there, isn't there? I think Chambers just catches Bergdorf, and then he falls into the Achilles tendon calf area.
Looks as if he's loosening up a bit, so he perhaps will be okay. Having to contend with that issue with Emmanuel Lattelat in the last couple of days, and we've just seen both managers, and I think both will be delighted that the transfer window is now finally shut.
Yeah, I think it's a manager's, head coach's worst time, isn't it? Because when you've got quality in the building and in your squad, you never know what's going to happen with the late transfers, and I think you can get your head around what you've got now till sort of January time.
Plenty of managers say that before the transfer window should be closed before a season starts. Lots of fans, it brings excitement for fans as well. Possible new arrivals at clubs, but it would suit everybody better if everybody knew what they had going into a season.
Yeah, I totally agree as well. I just think that, listen, I know it's exciting for fans, but as a manager, you want to be your best players, you want to have your best squad that you can pick from, and everybody knows where they stand. So I'm totally with the manager situation. I do feel having a squad where you can certainly look upon and work on things rather than, as we've seen today, one of the key players for Borough being able to start the game because of links away. So that's the uncertainty you have as a manager. Again, like you said, the excitement for fans is even better because you never know who's going to come through the door.
Social media will be quieter over the next few days than it's been in the last 24 hours with all those deals and rumours swirling around. He isn't too happy with his good friend Kieran McKenna either, from who he knows from his time at Manchester United, about that inquiry for his star centre forward. Centre forward who scored 18 goals in his debut season at Middlesbrough last year. But they all seem to have, as you mentioned, Lee, a good eye for a striker, don't they? Of course, you think back to Chuba Akpom as well, a couple of seasons ago.
Yeah, he was absolutely brilliant, wasn't he? Got his big move away, but yeah, you know, even bringing Cameron Archer into the football club was a real key addition. And that's why I think Tommy Conway, I think he could be brilliant for Borough. I really do. Is that kind of fit for them?
He goes down under the challenge from Aaron Ramsey. Too much in that, but perhaps enough. One that you're probably always going to get from the referee. So Middlesbrough come up with from this set-piece situation. So 13 goals, Cardiff, so far this season in their 5 games in all competitions. They've been hit for 5 twice against both Burnley and Southampton in midweek, but as Lee mentioned, a much changed Cardiff side took part in that thriller in the Carabao Cup. It's pushed in. Has made his mind up here, and it's decisive and confident goalkeeping to clear that ball away. Just what you want to see from your goalkeeper.
Yeah, demanding your box is so key, isn't it, for the goalkeeper? And he comes from distance as well, and you have to make sure you get it right, because you can see there that Borges is obviously chasing that ball down, so he has to come out and make sure he gets that decision completely correct, which he does. Just going back to the defensive situation that Cardiff have as well, you know, the goals that they conceded last season, I think it was 70, wasn't it, in the league, which, you know, you look at that and you start chipping away and making that a hell of a lot better, and you find yourself in a better position, because I think you keep conceding goals and leaking goals, which they have again this season. I know that obviously they had the midweek cup clash and there was lots of changes, but even in the league they've conceded, and they're not backing that up with goals, are they, with just that one goal that they've scored so far this season. As I said, I know it's still early days, but that's one thing they have to sort of manage correctly and get it right.
Really well worked goal that they did score at Swansea last week in the derby, 11 minutes from time. A sweeping, flowing move finished off by Callum Robinson, who is amongst the Cardiff substitutes here this lunchtime.
I actually felt that Callum might actually start today. Coming on and making the impact.
And Tanner as well, or Bulat. Had a few words about him in the build up to this game. He's been making an impact off the bench, but he feels he just needs to take care of himself a bit better to put himself in a position to be able to start. Now here's Tommy Conway, who is making his first Middlesbrough League start here, and he gained good ground but lost possession on the edge of the Cardiff box. And he can shoot from these kind of distances, a very capable player around the edge of the penalty area, but that one too close to Ethan Horvath.
Yeah, it's a good strike as well. I was just watching, thinking, is he going to take that shot on? The space just really opens up. No one goes to really get close and engage, and that's what, as I've seen him do that so many times. A really good area in the centre, takes his strike on. It's an easy routine save in the end, but really positive.
Was replaced at half-time in the Carabao Cup in midweek, and Michael Carrick said that was part of the plan, just managing minutes, and he's found himself playing at centre-half as well this season, as able to be a reliable player for Michael Carrick. Had a brilliant second half to last season, of course, after coming to the club from Leeds.
Another big player, is he? Lots of experience as well, and also playing in a different role to what he's used to, playing in that centre-half role, usually out that right-hand side, but see with injuries and bringing George Edmondson in from Ipswich, it's obviously an area that they're really struggling with at the moment, the injuries that they have back there. So, with the experience of Luke Ayling, Michael will know that it's easy for him to drop back in there and play in that role.
They brought George Edmondson to the club as well on loan from Ipswich to help try and ease that crisis at the back, that of injuries that they've got, but he isn't involved here today. They can get everybody back, Lee. It's a pretty good squad that Michael Carrick's got to work with.
Yeah, it is. That's why I say I feel it's an exciting time for Borough. I think they've got lots of younger, talented players, and that seems to be lots of clubs are looking at now, the youth. And that's brilliant for some of these youngsters that are chomping at the bit to grab a shirt. But I do like what Michael Carrick and Middlesbrough have done so far.
Here's Aaron Ramsey scheming for Cardiff. G scored 6 goals last season. G, he was Cardiff's joint top goal scorer, which gives you an indication as to some of the problems that they have been having.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, obviously they bought in to try and resolve that situation, but they just didn't score enough goals through the forward line. Obviously look at having centre forwards that you can rely on, and the minimum you want one of your centre forwards in double figures, but they were really reliant on, like I say, like Perry and G. He's one of the players you wouldn't expect to be scoring that amount of goals. So if they can get that right this season, even the introduction of Chris Willock's a really good signing. He had his injuries at QPR, but he's a key addition as well, along with Alex Robertson.
Siopis stepping in. That's what he's there to do for Cardiff. G. Back to him, played it just ahead of him, but Matchday was there, and now he can give chase here, but he's going to have some job keeping that one in play.
It's got to be better, hasn't it, really, from Perry and G. Matchday giving him that option, just going down the line. He needs better service for him to run onto. A bit scrappy, hasn't it, from both sides.
Just shading the possession, but it is relatively similar so far through the opening 17, maybe 18 minutes of this game. We have just seen one attempt on target so far, and that came from Middlesbrough. Just 2 attempts in the game so far, 1 from each team. It's a good piece of play by Morris, and Middlesbrough to work their way through the pitch, but possession given away, and now some room for NG. Harrying by Isaiah Jones, and it might just open the door here for Middlesbrough. He gets it back from Bergzorg, just couldn't quite sort his feet out, and he found himself goes down on the edge of the area. Now Cardiff looking to come forwards. Ramsey just held up. So Borges doing his job. Cardiff through Ramsey, able to take the free kick quickly. Here's Willock. Siopis. Straight down to this near side to Harry and G, who just hoists one towards the back post, and Willock's able to keep it in play. Got plenty forwards in the penalty area here as well. Jones can just hook it away. Hooked on by Robertson. Dyke still having to step in, playing it right back here with Caden playing century once again. considering the long throw here, Cardiff. And it comes, and it's dealt with by Clark, who was having to stoop to head it away.
There's that long throw in from Callum, and it's one of them awkward ones for a defender, because you're just thinking, is someone going to get a little nick on this? It's a crouch down. He deals with it brilliantly, actually, Matt Clark.
Gets a flick to it now. Finazaz tight on the edge of his penalty area, but he does wonderfully well. And now Middlesbrough can spring forward here. Options to the right, two of them as well. Could have rolled it perhaps to Borges, who was flying forwards, and Conway hasn't taken off him. Yes, but was that the right decision?
No, I don't think it was. And I think it was a great opportunity for him to go and counter-attack, at least test Horvath in goal. I think if he just opens up, the left-hand side's the better option. It's not even a great pass. I think that's just summed up the first 21 minutes or so. Lack of quality in the final pass in the final third for both sides. Hasn't been quite there yet.
Forward comes Matt Clark. It's Middlesbrough corner, which will be taken by Finazaz. In and around Ethan Horvath. City keeper, but delivery not quite on point as we approach the midway point in this first half. Zaz able to turn, able to drive towards goal. He's still got it as well. He's still got it, Finazaz, twisting, turning. Can he get a strike away? Just got caught under his foot, under his feet a little there.
It's brilliant from Finazaz. He's just trying to work a little opening and a bit of space where he can take a strike on, but he has to chop both sides before eventually get that shot off, and then it's just stuck under his feet. To actually, easy one, isn't it, for Ethan Horvath? You can see what he's trying to do. He just wants to get that half a yard where he can try and pick his spot.
Such a talented player. Had a wonderful first half of the season at Plymouth last year. He's got 11 goals combined for Plymouth and Middlesbrough last season, and he's played in every single championship game for Middlesbrough since coming to the club. Here's Yaku Mete, a streaky striker. Yaku Mete playing out wide though here today. He's had some great goal-scoring seasons through his career. Also had a fair few problems with injury as well. There's Darland. Forwards in. Offside flag has gone up. He's still waiting for his first goal, Wilfried Kanga, since coming to Cardiff. Season long from Hertha Berlin. Bullock in the dugout here today, though he has been charged by the FA. He was sent off late in the South Wales derby last week, but he has appealed, and he was okay to be down there today whilst that appeal is considered. Strong challenge coming in from Callum O'Dowda. Into Azaz, who finds that space beyond the midfield line again. Isaiah Jones, no way past Darland. Dyke still. Azaz spotted it on the edge of the area, but that was a pass that never looked likely to come off, and I could see you shaking your head there, Lee, as well.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I'm frustrated myself watching because there's some real good turnovers of play. Hackney in midfield, just picking out so many times. Finners has in them little 10 pockets where he's in acres of space, and then it's just wrong pass, I feel, or it's just short for someone to really go and run onto and maybe take a shot on or put a delivery into the box. I'm disappointed.
I saw Darland pick up that knock earlier in the game, and he's struggling again here. Too positive for him as he makes his way towards the touchline. Bullock seems going to be forced into substitution. He's still holding that left ankle. He's going to try and carry on, but hit down once already and getting to be paused there. I guess a player who wants to show what he can do. He had to wait for his debut against Swansea. He's in the starting lineup today. To find Perry and G, who can actually look to go forwards, but he just delayed and was held up by Bergzorg. Siopis, who picked up that early yellow card, but he works the ball out to the far side. Good pick out from him. Now Willock. Made a move. Middlesbrough asking for offside, but it's with Willock instead, and it does eventually go up.
It did look a tight call as well, because I think Kanga was definitely offside, and see that was why it was pulled back, because Chris Willock was in a decent position and it came to him, so I don't think it was Willock that was offside. I don't know if it was intended for the run of Kanga. I do want to see a little bit more from that left-hand side. O'Dowda and Chris Willock. I think it's a nice balance out there, because O'Dowda's got that wand of a left foot, just giving him an option. Wide areas is so key for Cardiff, but being able to get on the ball and really ask the questions of Middlesbrough.
The numbers there tell you the story of the game we've seen so far, as Clark was forced to slide in. Middlesbrough have hit the target with both of their attempts, just the one so far for Cardiff, and it wasn't one which tested Seni Dieng. Trying to get the better there with Neto Borges, but it was just shown towards the byline.
Defending here, by the way, as well, because there's no slouches, you might say, and I think you just see that little clip, can't you? I think an accidental one, but he's been good on his debut so far.
Coming into the side today for Lucas Engel. He beaten to the header. So this goes down. It was Tommy Conway who made the challenge.
He's just asking David Webb maybe for a card there, because I know he's on one himself, and I see why. He's literally all over him.
And Borges do battle again. An interesting duel between those two down this Cardiff City right-hand side. Mate once more. And G headed away by Clark. Ball forwards that he was hoping for, and it was Cardiff having to play the ball all the way back to Horvath, who sweeps it away first time. Down by Ayling. Alan Morris was composed in possession. Quite low. Not that pass where he wanted it to, but he was caught as he attempted to do so. Free kick for Middlesbrough.
I think he's been Hackney have been brilliant in there when they've got on the ball. They haven't tried to force the issue. They've got it into the advanced areas really well, as you said. So composed on the ball.
The head from Aaron Ramsey. Hour played at the Cardiff City Stadium. Tight game so far. Siopis flights one forward, just put too much on it. You can see the frustration there. Wilfried Kangaroo made his move.
He's had no service at all, has he, really? Even anything to run onto.
So he had 7 touches of the ball so far, as Horvath perhaps takes one more than he needed to there. Could do with to involve him in the game a little more. It off first time as Middlesbrough look to do things a little more quickly and a bit more incisively as well, and worked this near side to Borges, whose cross is cut out. But Middlesbrough, you want to see more of that, don't you?
Yes, definitely. A super play from 2 midfielders, really combining 3 actually. Finazaz coming into it, that little triangle, really good play. Again, the end product just not quite there, is it?
Yes, again. Towards the assistants on the far side. The flag stayed down. Risky ball in field, and it was helped on first time by Conway. Perhaps just sums up teams have fared so far in trying to get into the final third. We've been lacking quality in and around both boxes so far.
Middlesbrough have been the better side in these 4 minutes. I do feel that they've been better in that build-up from back into midfield, but that just, the final pass just needs a bit more composure, needs someone to really grasp that.
So Dowda can offer something here for Cardiff City. Siopis move forwards here. He might just take the strike on as well. You can see why he tried, but just wish that he hadn't. Will be something for Cardiff to look at, but also some concerns for Middlesbrough as to how he was able to just drive forward so easily there.
Yeah, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies not really going to close up his down, so that's where he makes his mind up, doesn't he? I don't think he was really having that in his focus of going and taking a shot, but because the space opened up, he had every right to go and take that on.
They have a combined XG so far in this game between these two teams of 0.11, which I think indicates the kind of game that it's been, but perhaps the game we expected it to be, at least early on.
Yeah, they're always cage out. I mean, early on in the season, I just think with the quality in the forward areas, in particular for both sides, just we haven't seen enough. Both goalkeepers really had a thing to do, have they? Sonny Dieng, he had a save to make, so it has been all in that sort of midfield area where we've seen a lot of the ball, just lack of quality.
Very different game. Middlesbrough's game at Derby a couple of weeks ago on the road. They created so many chances in that game. They still found themselves beaten. We should remember, of course, that Middlesbrough do have Emmanuel Latte to come off the bench, you would think, at some stage today. Certainly a player that could change this game. Zaz again finds that space and he pushes it forwards here. Isaiah Jones, though, just as his progress halted. Now Conway, good feet inside the penalty area. So good from Dijksteel, who just loses the ball under his. Zaz seems to be the player that's posing problems at the moment. Cardiff can't quite keep track of him.
Yeah, he is. He's playing all along that 10 role, which is really good. Plays it well, and he's the one that when he gets on the ball, it's opening the door a little bit, isn't it? But I just want to see maybe the shot being takeable into the goal. Isaiah Jones there, where he just come on and take a strike on.
Got the ball into the right area 2 or 3 times now, Middlesbrough, but it's just been lacking that end product. Middlesbrough look to press and Cardiff into working with the ball quickly, and Siopis, well, he wasn't in control of that, and he acknowledges his mistake, which made up for. Now Perry and G. Now there is some room in the middle of midfield. Swept forwards first time. Forward O'Dowda finds himself. Just slows down once again. Robertson. To thread one up to the edge of the area. It goes down. No free kick coming. Zaz for Middlesbrough. With options ahead of him. There's Conway, faced up by Darlin. The confident carrier of the ball, Conway, and he goes down there. Well, Darlin's not happy. He'll have his name taken. He's protesting his innocence. Middlesbrough have themselves a free kick here in a pretty dangerous position.
Better urgency. I'm not sure whether there was a hell of a lot of contact here, and that's why Darlin's not really happy, is he? I feel that there could have been a foul where Matt Clark just coming through the back of, he's here on the edge of the box. I think that's what they were furious about, but whether for Darlin deserved a yellow card is questionable.
So free kick here for Middlesbrough. That's why Cardiff were asking the question about that challenge down the other end. No doubt that Clark played the ball, but it was the manner in how he got to it.
Straight through the back of him, isn't it? And that's what you can't do. Come through the back of players, and it did look like a foul.
Kaling's not too happy with some of the attention he's receiving inside the penalty area right now. Cross comes in, it's flicked on at the front post. Middlesbrough getting that first contact. Allen's challenge goes in. Hackney can shoot from distance, but there's a tepid effort which just scuttles through to Ethan Horvath. drifting out wide. The ball on, but the control not there from Matchday. Mark into Hackney. To Borges. Neatly worked again by Middlesbrough. Their best when they just pop the ball around quickly, but now Cardiff coming for them, going the other way. Threaded through by Kanga. And Robertson, can he pick somebody out here, Clark? With a timely intervention, whistle has gone.
Both sides just playing one touch, interchange quick. That's where it's at its best. I do feel that this game's been slowed down, particularly in the final third from Cardiff and Borough. Just the intensity's just got to be up a notch. Just want to start to see a little bit more.
Darland is down now for a third time in this first half. Shaking his head once again, and spoke about how he wants to make his mark and show what he can do, but he also has to be careful, doesn't he, because he could do himself some real damage the longer he tries to play on if there is a serious problem.
Yeah, I think the way that the injury occurred, I think it's obviously an ankle of some form that's just allowing him to just guide and maybe coast through the game at now, but it just stiffens up the more you run, the swelling comes up. Ankle injuries I've had in the past, one of them that sometimes you have to just say, I have to come off, and I think that's going to happen here now.
The incident that led to it came so early in the game, the opening 5 or 6 minutes, that collision, as Middlesbrough looked to break.
Yeah, it was really out of nothing. You see there was a double collision, wasn't there? And there's Berger down at just catching the heel and the ankle, might have just twisted it out of place, and he's disappointed. You can see why he wants to stay on, but I think, as you said, it's long term, isn't it? It's a long season ahead.
Weeks now with the international break coming to hopefully get himself in the right condition for Cardiff's next game in the Championship. Just explaining how it happened there as well to the medical team. Who comes on. He was the only Cardiff player in every game for them in the Championship last season. To the back line. The side wants to have to deal with, but at least in Gutas it's a player who knows this side well, knows his role well, knows his manager well. A couple of minutes to go until half-time, but there will be, I think, 2-3 minutes added on. As for Darland, as we said, going down 3 times in the first half. Time for one of these two teams to crack this game open. It's been a bit sluggish at times. Cardiff are still to have an attempt on target in this game. Seni Dieng, who hasn't had much to do, just clips the ball to Clark. Forces Clark to go back to his keeper, and there's good pressure by Cardiff. It made the mistake happen.
Yeah, it really was good. I mean, obviously, Borough want to play out from the back, don't they? So the high press there from Cardiff, he's seen that, just forced Seni Dieng to kick that out of play.
And happily penalised then. Cardiff will have an opportunity here on a set piece. Just a touch too eager. Not a great deal in it, but you can see why it was given. Ramsey and Robertson standing over it for Cardiff. By Ramsey, taken by Robertson, the ball flicked on and was kept in play by Gutas, but the offside flag has gone up.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum of 4 minutes of added time.
4 more minutes to play in this first half.
Another good opportunity for those coming into the box. I just wonder where that offside's coming from, actually. Gutas just strayed past the line.
A touch generous from the assistant. Things, I guess, that Cardiff can take from this first half performance. They haven't offered too much going forward, but given they've conceded 5 goals in 2 of their last 3 games, more defensive solidarity, it's always something that you can then build upon.
Yeah, it is, but I think they've just lacked that identity in the forward line, I really do. Whether the possibility of changes, there are options there, aren't there? Robinson being one of their moves. Play on the shoulder, but if you're not getting service, you're not going to ask questions of your opponents, and that seems to be the case for Cardiff. I do feel that they have looked organised, but I think Middlesbrough have had better opportunities without really causing problems, and as I said, maybe just even trying to walk the ball into the back of the net. Take a few attempts on. Just wonder whether the outcome might be different at half-time from both managers.
You mentioned that Wilfred Kanga hadn't got in the game too much and the service had been poor. We're seeing Delano Bergsall going through the middle for Middlesbrough here this afternoon, and he's only had 4 touches so far. Yeah, but hasn't really been able to have any kind of impact on the game.
That does tell a big story of the game, really does, and that's why it remains 0-0.
He's charging down Horvath there. He's trying to make things happen, trying to have a positive impact on this game. Maybe perhaps see him going a bit wider in the second half with Emmanuel Latelaf on the bench for Michael Carrick here this afternoon. Challenge Robertson on Morris.
He hasn't been able to get in the game, really. Robertson, the impact he showed midweek, I thought he was going to be one that would be a bright spark and really dictate that midfield. It's been the opposite with Morris and Aidan Hackney, who've had the better of that central area.
Who scored his first Cardiff goal in that defeat against Southampton. Ramsey pushes it down the line, but they won't have time to take it because there is the half-time whistle. It hasn't been the most eventful of first halves here at the Cardiff City Stadium. Goal-scoring opportunities have been few and far between. Finn Azaz has posed problems for Cardiff with his movement in and around the penalty area. Middlesbrough have been at their best when they've managed to get him on the ball. Just 3 attempts on target so far in this game, and they've all come from the visitors, and I think both managers will